Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Civil. Everybody's excited. Everybody is here. Let's go. We're all in our places with our sunshine faces. Oh, this is the way
Mm.
we start our new day. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome back, Myra J. Welcome
Oh,
back, Stephen Hill. And
Hello, everyone.
great to be
Young
here.
Quinn with us today. Quinn, is school officially out?
Yes, commencement happened. There's no students on campus. I am very bored. Please save
Oh,
me.
oh.
What
Wow. Those,
what are your
those are
what are
words
your
you need.
plans to cure that boredom, Quinn? What are your plans to cure that boredom?
I have been reading. I just finished All About Love, which is an anthology by the Hurston Wright Foundation. So right now I'm reading Teaching to Transgress by Bell Hooks. Um, and I figured out the next title for my next book. And I guess I can just keep calling my mom my grandma.
He said,
Um,
what y'all doing now?
Basically, and I have some goals I want to have for the summer, but really it's just like preparing for like what's next. So
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
She
Wait,
wore me out.
what's the
I don't know
title of your
about
next
y'all,
book?
but that was a lot.
I know, reading and got a title for her next book, and especially talking to her mom and her grandmama. I know that takes up a lot of time, and just getting herself in order.
I'm
That's
like, and I feel bad. I brought in the trash can. Just so you know. It's like my big thing this afternoon.
yeah.
that's funny. That is very funny. Stephen Hill, how are you?
Doing darn fine, I must admit.
Okay,
And
okay.
a getaway with my brother. My brother and I scheduled this getaway a while ago, so we are in an undisclosed location in Mexico. And I'm watching my wife on a Chinese singing competition show.
So
I'm watching
tell
her.
people
I'm watching her
about
being
this.
watched by a billion people. So it's
Is that all? Tell
so
people
singer. It's a
about
competition
this.
show in
Yeah.
it's singing. Yeah, yep. It's called Singer China. Singer 2024 week. And what happens is that every 2 weeks, as I understand it, there's an elimination of one of the singers on the show. But every week, the audience votes for who is their favorite of the week. And the very first week, in front of 200 million people live, a billion people total after a post voting, was the young Queen Shantae Moore.
Wow, how
So
cool.
it's been a big deal.
Very
She
good.
got recognized on the street immediately afterwards. It was great.
It's a
Nice,
big deal.
nice,
Isn't that
nice.
great? Yeah,
It's a
Yeah.
deal. It's a
yeah.
big deal. It's a big deal.
So they got off the joiner
It's such a
shift.
big deal that it's such a big deal that I'm going to log out and log back in to see if we can shorten this delay. I'll be
Okay,
right back.
okay. We'll be right here. Steve Hammond, hey, making my life
Hello,
at the airport lounge much better. Well, thank you, Steve. We
hello,
appreciate that.
Steve.
And Steve,
Hello,
one day
Steve.
you're not going to be in a place where you have to say, I'm in an airport lounge. I'm about to get on this plane. And we'll have you back on whenever you're ready. Let us know. Stephen Hill is regaling us with tales of Singer China 2024. And so I was about to say before you logged off, Steve and Shantae got off the Joyner cruise and onto a plane to go home to Los Angeles to kind of get their lives together, and then get on another 7,200-hour flight to China.
Indeed, indeed. Where we there? I was there. We got there. We got there literally midnight 05 on Friday, and the show was live 20 hours later. 20 hours later, 10 p.m. China time. So we had the rehearsal straight 3 a.m. She murdered that, and then went and
Really did.
literally beat world class. It was a great performance, and luckily the audience thought that found Shantae Moore to be the winner.
She
And
was
look,
the winner. And as
she
Janice
was.
Eatman on Facebook says, hello, everyone. I saw footage of Shantae Moore's performance. Brava. She really
Yeah,
was.
Bravo. Very
Yeah.
nice.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
It's
She and
on
she
another
look,
level.
she and I love the Chinese culture. The people could not be kinder, could not be nicer, and the production is on like You know, I ain't gonna admit I was a little jealous. I was like, ooh, I've produced shows before, but wow, wow. So kudos to our new friends. And the next show is Friday, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. West Coast time, 10 p.m. China time. So next week, I hopefully will have more to talk about.
That's not a big adjustment.
Steve, that's like a 15-hour difference, right?
It's a 15-hour difference. It's a 15-hour difference. And just as I was starting to get used to the time, I came back to the West Coast time for a couple of weeks. So
wow,
just to mess your system up all over again.
A little bit. But my wife, I say it often. She is awesome, and I'm so glad that other people in the world are getting to see and feel what that is. And the social media has been great on it. And the people, the other people who are on the show, the other singers on the show, could not be better. So have a great
just
time.
Imagine
she's having a great time.
You perform, and then you go out. Let's go out for a walk.
And 5 million people recognize you immediately.
There were a few. The impact of that show, because there's no real cable television, so there's not like 500 different choices. There's a few different, like really high quality choices. But this is the thing that everybody gets around on Friday night. This is the thing that the entire country gets into on Friday night. And so literally Friday night was the show, and Saturday afternoon, there were autographs, there were photos. Like we went around, just walking around the block. And it was wonderful.
And all they wanted was some shrimp fried rice, and they got all of that. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Well, continue to wish her the best for us, because it really, absolutely. I mean, we saw the performance, and it was really, she sang an Alicia Keys song, and oh my God, Alicia's going, damn, how come I didn't sound like that? So let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday effort in which we seek to inform and empower the African American community. And we have young people who are participating and contributing to that. Young Kwyn is one of our contributors, and she is our LGBTQIA plus contributor. And today is her day. Her older brother, Cameron Riley, is also into politics. Coy Malone is our social justice contributor, and Aprilette Russell is our mental health and wellness. Kwyn, tell us about the war that trans people must fight as it goes on everywhere, including Mississippi.
So recently, Governor Tate Reeves signed a bill into law that will bar transgender people from using bathrooms that correspond with their gender identities in the state's public schools. Individual bathroom users who violate this law could be subject to lawsuits. And it says that the U.S. Constitution allows the law to discriminate between men and women in order to protect students' dignity, health, safety, welfare, and privacy rights. The legislation is called Securing Areas for Females Effectively and Responsibility Act, or the SAFER Act. This mandates that state schools have single-sex restrooms, changing rooms, and dormitories. Its text defines someone's sex as determined solely by birth, without regard to the fluidity or how someone acts or feels. The governor went to X, or Twitter, and he said, quote, "It's mind-blowing that this is what President Joe Biden's America has come to. Having to pass common sense policies that protect women's spaces was unimaginable just a few years ago. But here we are. We have to pass a law to protect women in bathrooms, sororities, locker rooms, dressing rooms, shower rooms, and more. There's no doubt that the left will continue to come up with more kooky ideas that harm biological women, and there's no doubt that Mississippi will continue to push back on them." Reeves has a history of signing anti-LGBTQ legislation. He recently signed a bill banning gender-affirming care for minors and banning trans athletes on competitive sports teams. And this makes Mississippi the 12th state to enact such a policy against trans folks. And this bill was sponsored by 21 Republican lawmakers.
And he also has a history of mistreating Black folks and not giving them the water that they need and deserve in the predominantly Black capital town of Jackson, Mississippi. I just thought I'd throw that in parenthetically.
I would be interested in knowing, since they're passing this bill to protect women, what are the statistics regarding transgender people attacking women as opposed to heterosexuals attacking women in those same spaces? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I know the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, tracks violence against trans women, not necessarily what's the word? Offenders, I guess, that identify as trans. But I do know in regards to like nationwide statistics, when everybody seems to quote like, oh, like we're protecting women from, like somebody that's trans to assaulting them in the bathroom, the statistics are relatively very low. Like there isn't enough data to say like there's something that needs to be implemented to prevent this from happening, or that this is like an epidemic. So the science, the data is actually saying something completely opposite. And enacting such laws as this is really harmful for biological women. And I'm putting quotes because how are they determine that? And, like biological men as well. So
it seems like a solution in search of a problem.
Right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly
Okay.
right.
All right. That's what it was sounding like to me. Okay.
Do they have a lot of representation in the LGBTQ community in the state of Mississippi?
That's what I was just going to look up because I don't know the statistics for how many are in Mississippi. But according to the Williams Institute in UCLA Law, it's looking like under 50%, majority Black, queer folks in Mississippi.
Under 50% is a pretty broad. I mean, it could be 5%, it could be 15, 20 maybe, but under
It says
50%.
42% are male that identify as LGBT, 58% female identify as LGBT, 38% of those that same pool are Black, and then other races like 14%, with white being 49%. And 34% of them are actually raising children in Mississippi. And on the average age is like 35, but there's like overwhelmingly on this graph in terms of the age distribution, they lie between the ages of 18 through 24, which is interesting for Mississippi. So
Wow. Pray for peace in Mississippi. One of the stories that I did this week had to do with the update at the Baltimore Bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The person that gave us the national our national anthem,
including the verse that talks about slaves. I'm sorry, we don't sing that verse. Never mind.
No,
We don't sing that verse. We don't do it.
Who is a slave owner and wrote very proudly about slaves in the song itself that is our national anthem. And maybe they'll come up with a change. Maybe they'll change the name of that while they're at it. But they did have a controlled explosion this week in order. This is crazy. On March 26th, a 900 plus foot shipping container ship plunged into one of the supports of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, bringing the bridge down, killing 6 Latino construction workers who were filling in potholes overnight as this happened. They lost their lives, and this was a shipping container ship that was on its way taking cars and other big products across the waters to Europe. And so, first of all, everything just went to hell. They had to close the bridge, what was left of it, and then start to clean all of this up. Well, they haven't been able to clean a lot of it up because a lot of the bridge ended up on the top of this container ship. And so it's like they had a controlled explosion this week. They got a lot of this off. And all of the people that were on that ship when they tried to move out and the ship lost power and they plunged into the support of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, they're still there. They're still on the container ship. And so As the investigation continues, they've taken their phones, they've given them new phones, they cannot get off. They're, given the opportunity to call their families, but these people are still there. And also, they're trying to, clean all this stuff up. Well, why does this matter? It's just a Baltimore. It's not a Baltimore thing. This is the infrastructure in our country is so poor everywhere that we have to be very, very mindful of this. And now it's taken them 6 weeks to get to this point where they're able to pull this steel, which is thousands of pounds worth of steel off of the shipping container, and also and to get started, to continue the investigation and get started on creating a new bridge, right? And so it didn't seem like a big deal to people until today. Something like that, quite similar, happened in Texas, and a bridge was rammed by a shipping container. They had an oil spill, and there's an island. It's called Pelican Island, and they have a branch of the University of Texas colleges, a university system. They're all cut off. There's no way to get from land to Pelican Island and vice versa. And so all of this is happening in this country. Just pay attention to how, I don't care how young your city feels, the wear and tear on your streets, your bridges, your overpasses, everything are starting to feel the effects of all of our travel and the cars and the trucks and what have you. So be mindful of that and hold your elected officials accountable for these things. And luckily, the people of Baltimore and Maryland have a great governor and a mayor and other Black folks who are really in there doing it and working with the federal government to get all of this stuff taken care of. So I'll step off my soapbox right now.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, when there is whatever long foot barge hits a pillar of almost any bridge is going down. Like, bridges are made. There's a physical reality to, like, unless you are what is it a unstoppable force, immovable object. But
right.
The pillars of bridges are not immovable objects, and those big barges are huge. Yeah. Yeah, look. You think of a bowling pin trying to withstand the pressure of a bowling ball. It's just not. It's never going to win.
Or any one of us standing the pressure of a linebacker.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, manufacturers of ships make sure the power don't go out. Now that's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing right there. That's the thing.
Right. And twice, and lose power. Lights go out. Lose power. Lights go out. Lose power. Bam.
I think it's a setup for a larger terrorist attack. But that's just me. That's just me.
Wow. It is. I was mistaken. It's Texas A&M that it's connected to. But at any rate, it's a part of this. There's a school, and these kids, a lot of them, or faculty or whatever, cannot get off of this island until they can, form some sort of another bridge to get them out of there. So these are the kinds of things we talk about in the newsletter. And I also want to mention that every week we also have a segment called Black and Missing, in which we work with the people at the Black and Missing Foundation. And this week, looking for Shun D. Riley. He's 35 years old. He's gone missing from Kelso, Washington since the 9th of May. Young Black male, light complexion, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 155 pounds, black hair, medium black hair length, and eye color brown. And if you take a look at his picture in the newsletter, if he looks familiar to you or you've seen him perhaps the night that he went missing on May 9th, please go to the Black and Missing Foundation and hit them up and let them know where and when you saw him. And please and thank you. We appreciate that. Let's move to the what's really going on section. And I'm kind of torn. I have actually three questions. But I'm going to go with one that we asked yesterday, and because I found the answers very interesting with our panel, which included Kwyn's big brother, Cameron. And so the question I asked yesterday, revisiting today, how do you see yourself?
No.
I'm not
Nose
saying
first. I'm
I'm
sorry.
not saying with a mirror. I'm not saying with a camera. How do you see yourself? Not how
Nose,
others see you. How do you see yourself, Stephen Hill?
nose first.
Ah,
Not even a question. I mean, you want more than that, or like
Yeah,
literally?
I would like you not to expound on the nose first answer, but a little something more.
I've used this term recently. My brother and I were talking about this. One who has an remarkably and fortunately easy ability to access joy.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Has
Been
that
lucky,
always been the
lucky.
case? Because
Yes,
as
yes,
long as
yes,
I've known you,
yes,
I would
yes.
agree.
Always has been. If I'm going to be honest, there was a dip during my last few years at BET that were troubling. They
Mhm.
were absolutely troubling because it was so against what I'd been. But I've since been able to regain it, and I've had a life that's been really fortunate around it. I think part of the energy around that ability to access joy helps manifest some of that other stuff.
Mhm.
So yes, I see myself as one who has a remarkable and fortunate ability to access joy.
Wow, that's cool. Young Quinn, you are nodding. How do you see yourself?
Yeah, not we. I was just talking about this with my therapist. Um, but I do see myself as I'm trying not to use the word resilient or like strong as much, but I say like adaptable. And I'm somebody that really thrives in like resurrections. There's just been a lot of moments in my life where I have flatlined or like literally like the door has closed and it just seems as if like I have reached a certain level where if I come back, I have to come back as something new and I have to come back as somebody different in order to thrive. And so there's lots of rebirths like in this book, and there's lots of different chapters, lessons I still carry to each one. But I appreciate that type of adaptability that I have. I'm supremely kind and gracious. I'm very empathetic. I think that comes from being a middle child and being raised by a single mom. And just really, really creative. Ashley always talks about my creativity and how quick I can write a poem for like anybody's thing, from like a baby shower to like a funeral. Like it's just the spectrum. I can really do it really easily. But I also like how creative I am with like different conflicts. So I like finding different ways to like problem solve and stuff too.
Is there something wrong with being resilient?
I don't think anything's wrong with being resilient, but I think oftentimes Black women, especially, we're always called that we're so strong. And I'm worried that we take offense to being called weak or
Mhm.
called fragile. And I also think there is a heaviness to being complimented on your strength because therefore it looks more attractive. And so when you do break, when you do have a moment, you have a shame. And so I'm not gonna put a shame on myself for like my weakness or the times that I have, like I said, like flatlined or literally been on my knees so low that the only person I could look up to was God. Instead, I'm just gonna call myself, faithful and like adaptive. And somebody that, as I said, like it's really creative when it comes to like these rebirths and like resurrections and stuff like that. And I appreciate my story. It is a wonderful story of many regrets and many great moments, but it is a captivating story, I tell you, of Kwyn.
I tell ya. Myra, does that sound familiar to you? How would you describe yourself?
Evolving,
Mm.
evolving, learning, confident, like Stephen Hill said, seeking joy. I don't want to say that I'm satisfied, but I am full. And like, and as we say, Lord knows we don't want it to end tomorrow. But if my life ended tomorrow, that girl had a good time.
Yeah.
I had a good time and went out going, wee, what a ride, what a ride.
Yeah.
And she was a good time at one time, but she also had a good time.
I had a good time and seeking more good times.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's me. Fun loving, drama free. Yeah.
Yes, you're on
All
the
right.
screen.
All right, Sybil, what you, Sybil? Sybil, what you? What are you?
I said
Make
this
it a haiku. Make it a
yesterday.
haiku. Make it fun. Make it a haiku.
I think that I shall never see one as lovely as me. No, it was. I said that I am a blessed child of God, but I do have an appreciation for my friends. I'm generous to a fault, and even when I'm not financially able, I will, do and try to help people where I can. Uh, I went to the bank today to pay a bill,
Oh, thank
and
you.
yeah, yeah.
People
And
still do that.
it-
People still do that.
people still do that because I
Yeah.
had cash. And so this woman said, "Ma'am, I'm without a ride. I ain't got no ride home." And she really looked kind of scary. But they did not escort her out of the bank. They just allowed her to kind of, confront people and she said, "I ain't got no money, I ain't got no way home, and I'm just here. I'm stuck. I no money for gas. I ain't got no gas money." And I said, "I'm sorry." And all she wanted to do was just tell me.
Mm.
She
Oh,
she didn't
okay.
say she didn't say you got something, and I
To be
did
seen.
have some money to give her, but it wasn't enough, and she ended up calling somebody and saying, "I got some money here, but it ain't enough to get me home. Uber won't accept this," or whatever it was. But it was like, but I will try. But times are tough, and so I'm not able to do it. But I do like to help people where I can, and I am inquisitive. I didn't think about this yesterday, but I do like to learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's three things I like to have: a great cup of coffee, I love to laugh every day, and I love to learn something new every day. And so those are the things: inquisitive, and I'm like Myra. I'm a good time. No, but I do love to help my friends. I really do. My mother's like, "Damn, your friends," but she used to say that to my dad. But I am like my
Yeah.
father in that respect. But I also have from my mother learned that in order to have good friends, you have to be a good friend. And
Absolutely.
so that is something that I've taken with me a very long way, and also from my mom, to take advantage of those events when you can, because that's why God made erasers. If you made a mistake, you just erase and you keep it moving.
Mhm.
Keep it moving. We had some really great responses. I hope that some other folks that didn't get a chance to respond yesterday. Oh, good, Michael. Michael Stallworth says that he sees himself as sophisticated and knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds like something you put on a business card.
Yeah.
Keisha Mitchell Brown on Facebook. I'm caring and selfless.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's great. That's really great. Janice Ferguson on Facebook, dependable, selfless, and empathetic.
Mhm.
That's really nice. I love to hear that as well. And people who, being honest, maybe you're not as selfless
I, I
as,
was just going to comment on that.
and
Uh,
maybe you're not empathetic or sympathetic. Maybe, if you feel strong enough. I had some really interesting conversations with people who watch our show. And and they were sharing things that they wanted to say, but like Rough House from North Carolina. He said, sometimes I just want to say something, but I've gotten beat up so many times for things I said, and I don't want to beat up on people. I'm just really
well,
uh,
so being caring and giving, it's a wonderful trait. It's a wonderful thing, and I believe I am still like that, but I have become more. And we always want to say, "Oh, but that's selfish." I put myself first, and I don't consider that as being selfish. Used
mhm,
to,
mhm,
but I don't care. As a daughter, as a mom, I have to put myself first. I can't help my child if I am not at my best.
right.
And as moms or as parents, I think we were trained to, oh no, you give everything to your child, and and we sacrifice and we do without. Damn that. No, I got I have to have myself together first. I will help you up to a fault, but then people have to help themselves. And so many of us have given ourselves to the point of exhaustion.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why we are so tired. Take care of yourself. That's why so many of us have mental health issues, because we just given, and we didn't give to ourselves first. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it.
And if mama ain't got it, then everybody around her is going to be lacking as well.
Ain't nobody else going to get it from me. That's for dang sure.
Steve, as a man, how do you feel about that? As one, well, because let me ask you this. As a man who, I'm assuming you were brought up to be the provider and to be the one, the nurturer in terms of providing for your family and your wife and all that. So how does that play for you?
I'm sorry. My wife is clearly the provider in my family.
But that hasn't always been the case.
Let's be honest. My wife is clearly. Is this one of those times where I have to go like I'm married to Shante Moore? Like, is this? Is that a reminder or like?
Right. But you know what I mean.
My job is carrying her purse. Look, I have. It is really. I have not been of the ilk where I have to be the person who provides. I have found myself around women in my past who want to make sure that they are providing and doing their own, right? So it hasn't been like, well, why aren't you doing this for me? Why aren't you doing this for me? I have my partners in the past have been like, no, I want to do this. So some of them had a job of the month. Some had 4 careers at 4 different times, but they were ambitious and energetic.
That's cool. I was raised by a woman who was raised by her father, and said that he was going to give her the best education his money could buy, because no one was going to love her the way that he loved her. And so, and that came to pass when my dad died, and my mother was left to raise a young kid, and having to know how to, she had friends who lost husbands, and they didn't know how to balance their checkbook. They didn't know where all of the information was that they needed to keep their lives going. And so I was very lucky in that respect, that I was never raised to depend on someone else, but knowing that, when that alarm went off at 3:00, there was nobody to say, you stay here, I got this. Right. Although there's many a morning I was like, you not gonna say nothing? But what I mean, it's just like, it's just the way I was raised. And Kwyn, what about you?
In regards to wanting a man to provide for me?
Or have a partner to provide for you?
Yes, I was gonna say I don't want a man. Yeah, so I realized in my history of dating, and my mom will probably definitely call me and correct me if I am wrong. I think my mom really wanted me to find somebody who is secure financially, physically, emotionally, because, being a single parent, the best thing that you want for your child is to have somebody else that could take care of you. Somebody that, like, when she ends up transitioning upstairs, that she knows that all her children are well taken care of with their and significant other. And I think that's why with everyone that I dated, she was always, okay, what do they do for a living? Do they pray to God? How's their relationship with their mom? But it was always like, what do they do for a living? Which was first. But for me, I don't necessarily, I think people look at the word provide really in like a capitalistic way. Where I'm really looking for somebody who makes me feel emotionally secure.
Sure.
Somebody that really makes me feel supported. Like, I have dated people who are jealous and don't want me to perform. I've had people who have been supremely insecure and suggested, that like I try different careers. So having somebody who is secure in themselves and confident in themselves is able to reflect and be a mirror for me to like have confidence in me. And I'm grateful that I have that in a partner who's supremely secure and who's also very sweet and is also like, and has the most gigantic heart for a Leo as I've ever met before.
Well, Leos do have gigantic hearts.
Some do. 1%, because I didn't know they existed. But having that type of heart and compassion, because when you talk about giving money, like my dad anytime we would have like leftovers from food, he would always take that food and give it to like an unhoused person. My mom was the person that always pulls the car over and gives out money and stuff as well. So I grew up seeing as giving is an extension of love for myself too. And so having a partner who sees giving as an extension of love is cool. But I like Myra's point as far as taking care of yourself, because as Black people, we don't really talk about self-love, I think, enough for me. And I didn't realize how exhausted I was for caring for other people and like students and stuff until like working full time. And it's like, dang, I actually want time by myself. Like, wow, I'm actually tired.
Like right now, taking advantage of this time that you have.
Because that's all extracting. Like you're extracting my light, you're extracting my energy. So it's like, it should make sense for me to close my door and drink some water or like take a moment to talk to my family. So I believe in both. Yeah.
Can I just say I'm very excited for you. I just am very excited for what is to come for you.
Stephen,
I want to know. Did your mom quiz Ashley? What you do for a living? How you pay? What you do? Did you do it? Did you do it to Ashley?
Definitely. I mean, my mom loves Ashley. Ashley loves my mom, but she was very excited and very happy to hear that Ashley is a mergers and acquisitions attorney. $100 a year, living downtown in Gold Coast. There wasn't much you can say.
No, exactly.
My siblings could either. Like when they went to her apartment and it's like a door person. It's like, what? Like it's crazy.
You better go ahead and stay with her forever, girl. You better go ahead.
And if you don't, I will. Right.
You better lock that down, girl.
Yeah.
Like it's a wrap. So it is.
Let's move to trending, and we can talk a little bit more about that. Myra, what upcoming events do you have going on?
I will be joining the takeover in St. Kitts, July 18th through the 21st. So I'm looking forward to that. Just a fun group of people who spun off from the Fantastic Voyage and doing their own thing. Yep, and we're just gonna go and take over St. Kitts for about 3 or 4 days.
That's nice. That's gonna be a fun time. Young Kwyn, do you have any appearances coming up?
I do not believe so at this time, but if they will be anything, there'll be little mini so far shows here and there. Yes,
sprinkling. And Stephen Hill, besides being the manager to the Chinese Stara.
I'm the hub assistant. She is. By the way, Mango TV. People have asked where you can see it. There's an app called Mango TV. If you download it, and the show is called Singer 2024. If you want to see her and the other wonderful people who are on the show, but I am DJing my 40th reunion next week, and then I'm headed back to China. Like I literally I came here because my brother DJ reunion, and then headed back to China for as long as we possibly can be.
And also Shantae has to come back for some dates too. She has to come back to the States to take care of some dates, right?
She is. She's coming. She's coming back for a gay pride event in Washington D.C. on May 25th. Rest of the dates are up in the air, but May 25th in D.C. is a thing for sure.
Got it. Yolanda's asking what that noise is. It sounds like somebody's.
My bad. That's my bad. It literally text from China. Okay,
right.
keep going. Right. Literally text from China.
Because the other night we were on Monday night, and somebody kept asking, "What is that noise?" Because I had the ding, 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 and it was the group text between Myra, George, and J. Anthony Brown, and that hour is when they chose to give every thought they've ever had and share it. And I had to leave the conversation.
Sorry, when you did, I looked at the time and I went, but we in trouble.
It was funny to me. It was just very funny. But yes, I get the noise. Absolutely.
Not anymore. I turned it to mute. I found the mute button.
Okay. Well, I wasn't bothering me, but some people are easily disturbed. So what can I say? Let's move to other topics that are going on. This is really interesting to me, and I know it's something that especially a couple of different other states are dealing with this. And this has to do with the United States Supreme Court and talking about giving states an additional Black District, congressional voting district. This will affect people as they're going into the fall elections. This is in Louisiana. Also, have had the situation in I'm just drawing a blank. Alabama. Terry Sewell was the only Black representative, congressional representative from the state of Alabama. They have now taken some of that weight and responsibility off of her shoulders, and they've drawn in a second congressional Black district, and now
Hey.
this is the case in Louisiana.
Is this gerrymandering working for our advantage?
Exactly. Gerrymandering works. Yes. But they had to go to court, and they had, the NAACP, the Urban League, everybody, Black Voters Matter, everybody had to go to court and work together to make this happen. But gerrymandering, this is an indication that gerrymandering can work to our advantage. And this
God
is
bless
Louisiana.
America. God bless America.
Right. Ain't that America? Yeah. So the Republican-controlled Louisiana legislature approved a new map in January, adding the second Black majority district after a U.S. district judge by the name of Shelley Dick in 2022 found that the previous Republican-drawn map illegally harmed Black voters.
Ooh, nice.
The judge concluded that the previous map sketched by the state legislature likely violated the Voting Rights Act, a landmark 1965 U.S. law that bars racial discrimination in voting. So thank you very much, Judge, and not living up to your name. So they had a big election in Maryland yesterday. The primary, who's Jerry?
Our Mary boys.
Oh, the ever humorous Mary Boyce, who made her debut on the Tom Joyner Fantastic Voyage with the stars there. Myra, how was that? Well, because I missed it. We got off the ship before you guys performed because somebody didn't make the first half of the voyage. But it was Myra.
We won't say who, Jancy Brown.
George and Jancy Brown. And Mary Boyce joined you guys. How was that?
It was so much fun. It was so much fun. When you have people that you work with that you genuinely like, and then everybody get together and does a project together, and the project is to make people laugh, it doesn't get any better than that. So yeah. That was.
And I love seeing Mary Boyce's progress. I just love seeing her growth on stage. She packs them in and some powerful punches in her comedy routine. So if you find that you see that name, Mary Flowers Boyce, especially here in North Texas, she's performing on street corners as well as inside some venues. Check her out and go and support our friend there. Do you remember
a couple of dollars?
Yeah. If I can do it for the lady at the bank today, right. Certainly you can. A big election day yesterday, primary election in the state of Maryland. A Black woman won the Democratic primary for the U.S. Senate.
God bless America.
Come on now. And she beat a really rich white man.
Was that also Brooks?
It was also Brooks. Yes. Angela also Brooks. Yes.
Yay.
And I'm going to write about her for Friday because this was a case of a really rich and well-connected congressman from Maryland was running against her, and he's the guy. He is the owner of Total Wine and More.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. yeah. That's his business. So that's he's got a couple of bucks, and so
he clearly wasn't running on the
last night.
Right. He was not running on the platform of free booze, or else he would have won. So,
right. Yeah. But he put a lot of money in advertising and what have you, and that was not enough. And Angela also Brooks could, if she wins. And she's got tough competition because she's going up against Larry Hogan, who is the former governor of Maryland and a Republican who is not a Trumper, by the way. So he might get a lot of support from those that have kind of drifted away from what is now the Republican Party. He was term limited. That's why he didn't run for governor again. But he is running for the U.S. Senate. He won the Republican primary last night. And so if Angela also Brooks wins, She will become only the third Black woman. This chokes me up, obviously. Third Black woman to represent, excuse me, to represent in the United States Senate.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Carol Moseley Braun, who was the second? I'm sorry, who was the second? Carol Moseley
Her
Braun.
name is
Kamala Harris.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
President. Madam Vice
That's right.
President.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. From the great state of Mississippi. God
Yeah.
bless them.
There was a big loss in Maryland. Do you remember Harry Dunn? This is the man, the big Black cop that was on the steps of the U.S. Capitol fighting off all of the Trumpers that were trying to take over the Capitol insurrection. Yes. He left the Capitol Police after that day, defending lawmakers when the rioters stormed the Capitol. He was defeated in the Democratic primary for Maryland's 3rd congressional district. He launched his campaign in January and ran to succeed John Sarbanes, who retired from the U.S. Congress. He competed. This was really crazy. There were 22 people in this Democratic Party nomination, running for the nomination. 22 people.
Wow.
He came in second, I think, with 14,000 votes. But he lost to a woman and Senator Sarah Elfreth. But just a really great guy, and I really hope that he is not giving up on his political career. He's a really stand-up guy, and I just really enjoyed his story. Had a really great book. So, a new federal law subpoenaing the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, Tiffany Henyard's spending. She is under FBI investigation, as well as under investigation by the former mayor of Chicago, and Lori Lightfoot. And she's spending money like, how did they describe it? Like a drunken sailor. Money that they don't have, money she don't have, money, the travel, the drinking and all the, not drinking, but all of the.
She have bodyguards or something?
Yeah.
She was
paying for the bodyguards and with all of this money coming out of Dalton, and Dalton don't got no money.
No, it don't.
No. Dalton ain't got no money.
No.
So, and she's really angry, but it's gonna be interesting to see. I hate to see a Black woman brought down, but if you're not doing right by your people, you can't support that. You can't support that.
I feel like it's crucial because it's so good to go back to Angela Alsobrooks. Who did Angela Alsobrooks beat?
She beat his name is
Total Wine.
And that's right. That's the company. What's the company he owns?
Mr. Total Wine and More.
Total Wine.
Right. And so Dora Levette Tiggs says now he's probably totally whining today for being beaten by a Black woman. And I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go. I'm sorry. I had to go back. Dora, that was so dope. I had to go back and get that for you.
And that deserved a return trip. A U-turn, if you will. Grab it and then throw it out there.
Dora. He's totally whining now.
Totally whining. That was in the school of Mary Boyce. Just who is this gerrymandering? And now he's totally whining. I didn't win. Oh, man. I look forward to that race, though. I really do. And all of the Black women that are running for office, very excited about that and making history in the United States Congress as well as the U.S. Senate. Let's move to entertainment, shall we? The co-host of the talk show The View are defending the American Idol Season 1 winner and talk show host herself, Kelly Clarkson, after she received backlash for telling Whoopi Goldberg on her show, and that would be the Kelly Clarkson Show. She told Whoopi Goldberg that she's taking a weight loss drug, and so is Whoopi. And so they kind of, talked about what it does. It kind of jumpstarts your diet and right in your weight loss journey. She said that she had a great time on the Kelly Clarkson Show. She was disappointed over the negative responses that Kelly has received regarding talking about, she didn't say that they had the same weight loss drug, but a weight loss drug. So my question to you is, have any of you all considered this? And when you are thinking about it, have you considered what the backlash is? Because I don't know what business is it of people who, like you weren't truthful with us. You said you were walking and that's how you were losing weight. Well, maybe that was a part of it. Maybe she didn't think it was any of your damn business.
That part.
Yeah, I think as a diabetic, I definitely had been prescribed Rybelsus, or which is known as Ozempic, which I know like some celebrities have used to take drugs. So I have experienced the higher costs and sometimes like not being able to find it. So I do think it is unfortunate that folks who are trying to take a drug for their own life culture is also a drug that folks are taking to save their lives. And I also feel that shaming somebody for choosing to use a weight loss drug is really a waste of emotional energy when people can be shamed for many other things. And I wish diet culture didn't exist. I wish we actually were way more body positive and letting folks just do whatever they want to do, like with their own bodies. Let it be plastic surgery, let it be gender affirming surgery, let it be abortions, let it be whatever it is that you want to do. Like go ahead and do it without people meddling in and offering their own critique.
Mentally. It's none of your damn business.
Yeah, that's right. You cannot like it, but don't meddle. Like, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
Right.
if you don't like people doing, if you don't want to, do Ozempic, then don't do Ozempic. But don't mess around because, I'm doing it. So, whatever.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
I think probably some people feel deceived. Yes, I don't know. I think some people feel. Oh, what'd you say, Myra?
But it's not. Why do you have this personal investment? You know what I mean, Kwyn? To say, you hurt my feelings. You deceived me. I can't trust you anymore.
Okay.
That's not necessarily. Doesn't necessarily have to be with the weight loss drug. You told me one thing. That thing is a lie.
But it's not.
So now I can't. But now I can't. Okay.
Because it's what he said. A part of it was the walking. She just didn't mention the drug.
So I think the deceit comes from the illusion.
Okay.
I think the deceit came from like the illusion that the way that folks achieve this weight loss is something accessible, and not everybody can afford Ozempic. Like I said, like I'm prescribed it. So even paying out of my pocket, I have access to it. But a lot of people cannot just pay their insurance, don't pay for it. So you have Oprah, who are Weight Watchers. And I think Kelly Clarkson had a brand deal with some other type of weight loss program. And so you have these poster people. They're like, hey, if you do this, then you lose weight. When really they didn't even do what they're marketing. So they're actually doing the complete opposite. So therefore it's kind of just like, well, why lie? Like you could have just told me you took a pill instead of me paying money for these programs.
That's the thing. That's the thing. $1,000 a month for Ozempic, $1,000 a month. I don't know what yours is when prescribed and with insurance, but like the regular cost is $1,000 a month for Ozempic. It is not accessible by most folks.
Yeah.
Now, people will indeed forego their rent to get themselves a smaller butt. That's that's true. That's about
not the smaller butt. Maybe some other smaller parts, but
that's true. That's true. Because I am thoroughly enjoying my BBL. So I am. You kind of notice I'm sitting a little higher in the chair, right?
Yeah.
That's right. I got to adjust the screen sometimes. So.
And sure, you went to Mexico just to hang out with your brother. Sure you did. Okay. But there's, and for women, there's so much more to this. You talk about you reach a certain age and you're not able to lose weight and the difficulty and all of that with menopause. And there's just so much to it. And she has had, her challenges, right?
We have such a culture though that people think that they have the right to your business. They don't. Mind your business. I'm a mind my business, and we all just gonna get along. There are certain celebrities that you really don't hear anything about them, and you don't really think about them because they're not out there like that. But they're like, they don't like to talk about their personal life, period.
Right.
And I have total respect for that because it's not my business.
To that point, though, it feels like it's a generational thing because there's a older generation who didn't have access to social media, and there's a belief that you can be in someone's business because their business has been put out there so much, especially in positive times and the good looking. And so when something goes wrong, you feel like, well, I deserve to know. Like, I deserve to know why. You put all your business out there before. I deserve to know why. Some of it's generational, but some of it's just like how you choose to live your life. But in a culture now where it's hard to be a young celebrity with no social media presence, right? It's hard to be. Mm-hmm. You can't get signed to a record label unless you have a social media presence. Right, you can't just be talented and get signed to a label. You have to have a social media presence and a following already before a label will sign you. That's crazy.
That's right. Kwyn, you look like you wanted to say something. I'm gonna give you the final word on this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that the issue is not folks are being in somebody else's business. I think it is the deceit that was fueled by capitalism. These folks have lied in order to secure brand deals to promote something that they actually have not used. And therefore the consumers of these things, such as Weight Watchers, such as, I don't know, that other meal plan, like people that have bought it for the people, bought it for the story, bought it for the fidelity, the implementation of these strategies, just to find out that you actually didn't use these at all. Like you actually just used the weight loss pill, feels very, like, it does feel personal because I'm personally putting my rent money. I'm personally using this for my body because another Black woman or, somebody as famous as Kelly Clarkson motivate me to sign up for this program. And now you're saying the opposite. So I think people have the right to be upset. I think we should also remove the shame of diet culture. And I think we should make Ozempic accessible and people have the right to do whatever they want to do to their bodies.
Well, that is on the calendar of a lot of people to bring the prices down of those Wegovy and Ozempic and the others as well. Let us.
Y'all think y'all live in a socialist country? I know I'm spending a lot of time there recently, but y'all don't live in no socialist country.
I know, and
y'all
Kwyn,
don't live in a socialist country.
Kwyn really does feel so she lives in Cuba, so
I understand that. But as the famous line, or some of my famous line from The Wire says, "You want it to be one way, but it's not. It's the other way."
It always comes back to The Wire, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. You want it to be one way, but it's not. It's the other way.
Let's close out with our jewel, Yogi's jewel. When you practice gratitude, abundance flows plentifully into your life. So inhale gratitude. Exhale entitlement.
That's good.
Although I believe I'm entitled to joy, so that's gonna be a little tough for me. I gotta think that one through. I think everybody. No, not just me, but I think everybody's entitled to joy. So that entitlement of certain things. Right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dissect the jewel. I did not mean to dissect the jewel.
In the words of the great Anita Baker, you bring me joy. Thank you
all. You don't say that in Atlanta right now. You don't say that.
Or in the great words of Anita Baker. Wait, no, I got to.
Oh, Kwyn, that is so cool.
Or in the great words of Anita Baker.
No, so.
Look at that.
Why does this do this?
Big brother always watching.
Oh, it's not
Kwyn making a heart with her hands, with her fingers and her hands, and the hearts just all over the screen.
I don't know how to make it. Okay, wait.
Oh, well done. All right, I know everybody on here cares about this, but the NFL schedule is about to be announced. The 24 schedule is about to be announced. So,
Team Kaepernick. All right, bye, y'all.